down. So the price is going down, the cash flow is going down. What are you hanging on to this thing for? Right. So you got to go to those clients and say, it's nice to have secondary properties, but it's also nice to cash out. So that needs to be in your conversation with people that the market's changed, hasn't changed. How can I help you? This is what you need to do. Right. So that all makes sense. The other thing to do in a slowing market, assuming that we're in a slowing market, but now we're in the fall market. So now you've got your business planning. You got to get your things planned. You got to know what you're doing for the rest of the year. I think people should do the goal setting today, not January, because what you do today is going to reflect what's going on in January. So you got to get out there going. I'm looking at the stuff here. Do you guys get this stuff in your house? Who does this? Do you guys get flyers in your house? I'm saying yes. Some people get them. Some people go on. If you live in a condominium, I know what you do. You open up your mailbox, you go through this, you throw them in the garbage and take your mail upstairs, right? That's what I did anyway. So why are these guys doing this? For business? No, for business. Right? So part of your plan, you need to get back to the basics, like this, like sitting there and having people phone you up and say, "Hey, I want to buy a house," or two or three. Those days are gone, right? Right. So think about farming, and it doesn't have to be a gigantic farm. It doesn't have to be all Pickering or all Scarborough or something. There, it can just be a little townhouse complex, something brand new, something to go back to the well. Just 400 or 500 homes, 600 homes, just something that during those slow days, you can do some door knocking. During the slow days, do some phone calling. Doing the, just be out there. But I think that should be part of your business plan going forward. I think everybody should have a little bit of a farm area, a little bit of something to go on. Remember Mike Ferry years ago said farming was a waste of time. Remember little Mike Ferry guys? Farming and giving out pumpkins at Halloween, that's all for, that's not the right way to do business. Right way to do is phone call. But nowadays, you can't phone call because nobody has, some people don't have landlines, right? So now it's changed. So, but those people that did do the Mike Ferry stuff years ago, and he talked about no farming, phone call, be aggressive, be proactive. All the people he had up on stage that were talking and joining, I bet you every single one of those guys had farms. So they're saying one thing and doing the other, right? So be careful with that. This meeting here, after this meeting, we have a pre-con people coming in.
Yeah, Austin Birch.
Austin Birch is a marketing company, and they market different projects. What's this one? This project?
There's 3 projects, and one of them is Mattamy Homes, so they're cooperating.
So Mattamy Home, that's funny. So have anybody noticed that? Everybody notice how all of a sudden now you can get allocations for condominiums, or you can they'll give you commissions, or they'll cooperate. Mattamy Homes, they wouldn't cooperate forever. They wouldn't. Right. So now it's the other way around, or people are trained. You're getting those emails from those guys coming to learn about training, learn about pre-constructions, because that whole business is down quite a bit. But these guys are going to promote 3 projects in GTA. That's separate from the one that we did in last week at Pickering, right?
Yeah.
Pickering, by the way, we have allocations. Some people came to me this morning saying we don't have pricing.
We don't have pricing.
So how would you, why would they give you allocations worksheets and you don't know the pricing?
So they're trying to get ahead of. What they're trying to do is make sure they can maximize their sales by seeing what people want. So they're trying to get ahead of it so that they can maximize how many they can distribute. So we're assuming 1050 a square foot, and it's going to be around.
They drop the price, they don't get.
Nope.
Comes to a point where there's a cost too, right? It costs them like $900 a square foot to build, and they want to have a bit of a profit, so they sell it for $1,050,000, right?
This is the first tower, yeah.
Do you know, first those incentives later on, or LS do? Are they giving those to the people that actually bought in the first round?
Nope. So that happens a lot now too. We're later phases get more incentive.
Oh, really?
So the longer you wait, the incentives are getting higher.
But you're getting bigger, more expensive units, so you're not getting what the unit you want.
Okay, just getting into the numbers here. I did the numbers last night. Last night at around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock last night, we had 16,950 listings. I got it here this morning and went on the computer. Now we have 17,050 listings. So it's in a matter of a couple hours, we had another like 200 listings were broker loaded last night.
Hello.
So the market is healthy. And because I remember a lot of people coming to me 8 months ago saying there's nothing to buy. My buyers looking here, there's nothing to buy. Now there's lots to buy. So you need to find those buyers that made those comments saying there's nothing to buy and go, no, it's not so, right? You might have sellers saying that, hey, I want to sell, but I got nothing to buy. Well, now there's something to buy. So you got to go back to that well, make sure those people understand what's going on. Sales, unfortunately, though, they are actually down 22% from last September for the first 10 days. We've got about 1,136 sales so far total for the first 10 days of September. Last year we had 1,400. Unfortunately, I'm going to tell you the truth, and this is the truth, right? So the first 10 days in July, we had 1,700 sales. First 10 days in August, we had 1,753 sales. First 10 days in September, we have 1,136. So the market is definitely adjusting. Talking to Nelson, you're quiet this weekend as well, so that's down about 600 listings over 10 days. What's that? 60 per day that it's down. So if you got who's got some sellers out there that have property sitting and not selling? Have you come across that yet? Okay, average day on the market right now is how many days on the market? I want to say 29 or something, right? Yeah, it's about 3. I haven't got July's here, but anyway, so the monthly inventories
Well, I would say first 17 days.
total?
That was the high.
Really? Okay. So that's not realistic, I don't think today. I think more like 29 days would be a normal market, right? So if you're an agent that has is younger agent, meaning not age but time in the business, I've had people come to me saying the property's been in the market for 5 days, hasn't sold. What's wrong? All right. Anybody else done that? 20. So now it's 20 days, and last month was 17 days. So it's going up a little bit. I think it's even more than that. I think if you do the cancel relist, does everybody look at that? If you do the cancel relist, they add another about 5 days to that. It's probably 25 days in the market. Condominium sales, I'm reading stuff how condominium sales are taking off. I don't understand that, but my numbers here show that the condominium sales are down 18%, freehold sales are down 25%. Taking off. Leases on the other side. Leases. Take it off. Leases are down 12%. Freehold leases down 17%. Condo leases down 9%. The sales to listing ratio is about 50. It's about 51.6. It's just this month. Sales to new listing ratio is a number that a lot of people use, and they consider 60% as being the difference between a seller's market and a buyer's market. 40 to 60%. Right now we're at 51.6. So at 60% it's a seller's market, at 40% it's a buyer's market. So we're leaning more towards a buyer's market. Slightly, not big. And people are going to come to me and say, I had multiple offers on this property, multiple. I know that, right? Because for whatever reasons, but depends on the location and availability. Monthly sales themselves have actually been dropping a little bit. Prices themselves have also dropped. We look at average price overall in August May was 1.2 million in May. And it dropped down to 1.18, and it dropped down to 1.117, and last month it was 1.08. So the prices have dropped down from 1.195 to 1.02, over $100,000 since May. Average price. But again, this average price, and no average price doesn't mean anything. So you're going to use these numbers to your benefits. If you got a seller that's not selling, the price is not selling, you got to show these numbers to him. If you try and take a listing presentation, you got to look at what's going on in that neighborhood, make sure that you're correct. Because I guarantee you there are some neighborhoods that the prices have actually increased. Right. So these are just big overall pictures. Right? I don't know. Papers are fun. Toronto's fall housing market forecast. Catatonic state will continue with more prices to drop. So there's big words like that, right? Again, you got to use those words to your advantage. So Mr. Seller or Mr. Buyer, well, Mr. Seller, you should be, you should sell sooner than later because prices aren't going the way you want them to go. Do we still get those buyers or sellers out there that want to get what the neighbor got back in 2022, or those they realize that that's gone?
It's so easy. People trying to get two prices saying the same thing and just hoping.
Has anybody had a listing presentation and the buyer's agent tells you, well, prices have changed, that's why we came with this crazy price.
Yes, I couldn't believe
They do that all the time, right? So Toronto's real estate market has come to a grinding halt after Bank of Canada's recent rate hikes left buyers and sellers in a lurch, and conditions are unlikely to ease up during the fall market. Toronto house prices dropped almost 64,000 since July. This is why I talked about that. I went back to May though. Price correction from February 22 peak isn't over, so they're saying there's still some more adjustments to go. And another 10% likely drop would likely take place. So they're still expecting another 10% drop. Yeah, still another 10% drop to come. So Mr. Seller, if you're thinking about selling your house, you want to do it now, or you can lose another 10%. Mr. Buyer, you might want to, I don't know, you might want to do now before, while you can afford it, right? When you do presentations, I'm just curious, when you do a listing presentation and you state a fact saying that prices have dropped since May, is this something that comes from words, or is it something that you show? I'm just like majority of people, I'm just thinking like when you do your presentations or talk about listing presentation, talk about pricing, do you actually show material or you just sort of give your opinion? Because I'm going back to Floyd Wickman days, we used to have a thing called show and tell. Right, and show and tell was where you'd actually show a fact and then tell them what the facts were. As I'm talking about salesmanship, I'm talking about listing presentations and salesmanship. Show and tell, right? You just let this agent comes in and tells Sanic, well, don't you know that the price will drop? That's why my buyer gave you this price. Words, you know what I mean? Now, or Sanic, here's what's going on in your neighborhood, and the price have dropped 10%. This is show, and this is tell. What article? It could be any article. You can get any article, by the way, to support your position. Toronto Star. Right. And then if I'm the buyer and saying, well, okay, Toronto house prices dropped second month in a row. So I'm gonna have something for you as well. You guys do that? You talk about show and tell stuff like that? Listen, Jimmy. Greater Toronto housing market saw home sales and prices barely shift between July and August. So in this article here, the market didn't change at all.
What's your response? This
This is the Star.
How much?
So I tell you, you go to the same paper and get two different stars. But you're going to use the one that's going to benefit you, right? And your client, right? So the sales were like 5,200, almost 1% more than July. So actually, sales for August were more than were in July. Yeah.
Oh, great.
I'm just reading the facts. This is the facts. Yeah, that's fine. And then you can break it down to just put them down. Now, it says here that new data, and I can't find this out myself. New data shows hundreds of condos flooding the Toronto home resale market as investors sell off and get out. But then, as I just said, the sales for July on condos are down 18%. So I'm just curious if guys are just.
They probably asked one agent who said that one thing, and they're like, that must be
Why? And you're exactly right. So this is a headline that your client looks at, and I get into it, and it's one agent's opinion in one neighborhood.
great.
But you would know that, right? Hundreds of condos downtown Toronto are up for sale, flooding the market as high interest rates spur an exodus of investors. Year-over-year sales for detached and semi-detached homes dropped by 12 to 14% respectively. Condo sales, however, jumped 7.6% and saw the average price drop by 1%. So they're suggesting that the sales for condominiums are actually higher than they were last year because of all this new product coming to the marketplace. Prices, by the way, for condominiums, talking about those, prices in July for a condominium. Average price for overall right across the city for all condo apartments, 735,000 in July, and in August, 705. So the average condominium price dropped by $20,000 in 1 month. Who's got listings for sale right now? Condos listings for sale? Anybody? Nothing? No? All sold out? I thought you had this stuff over in sold it. Okay, good for you.
You sold it then?
Oh, thank goodness, right?
Jeez.
So Raj just said he had a condominium downtown down in Liberty Village, I guess. Bay Street. Tenanted property, and we say this, Nelson, I say this all the time, right? So this tenanted property, the guy wants to sell. Did you ask the tenant who wants to buy it? And Raj did. The guy said yes. And double commission,
Well, no, we ended up.
double commission as well.
Yep.
Double the liability, double commission. So it goes back to what I said before. Talk to your investor clients, see what they're doing, see what's up there. I don't know. Again, I can just tell like it is. You guys, this is also the star. International strategist says that Canada is sitting on the largest housing bubble of all time.
First guy to say that? What's our, as per last listing? Okay, that's the same thing the last guy said.
This guy here apparently studies all real estate markets around the world, and he's pointed Canada as being a bubble-ish because of the high prices over the last couple of years and things going crazy. Canadian household now owes $1.87 for every dollar of disposable income they have, whereas US it's $1. So I can see that too. This one here confuses me. This one here writes for the Sun. She's also a realtor at Chestnut Park. So I'm assuming that she has a particular market area that she's discussing, even though she's talking to a Toronto newspaper. But she's saying here that offer dates promise more risk than reward these days. So she's saying here that now that we've entered the correction territory, it would seem that we're all due for a little refresher on how the business functioned back in the before times when money wasn't free and there weren't 7 buyers for every property. You know, those days of yore, when the sellers and their agents priced the market value and patiently waited for one qualified and willing buyer to come forward and present an offer. Okay. So what we've been used to a lot of agents is multiple offers, right? You put a property on, you sell it right away, you get multiple offers, you just wait there for the best offer, you sell it. Now it's not the case. Now we have to go back to the old days where you have to price a property and maybe, you know, you're gonna have to wait the 30 days and maybe, you know, have a couple of offers that come and go and before you get one that's going to stick, and then you have to negotiate things and away you go. That's what she's saying. That's going to be the norm now. Sellers now expect multiple offers to sell well above asking, while the agents have normalized employing all sorts of mechanics and mechanisms to produce the outcome they're expecting. So sellers still want multiple offers and they're still expecting above asking prices. So the only way that an agent can do that is by doing what? Underpricing on purpose, right? And she's saying here that FOMO, she's saying it's not happy. You're better off to not do that. You're better off to price it at near market and wait it out just like you did the old days, right? And then no offer dates. And you present the offer when you go. But you tell me, it's my opinion. If you don't have an offer date on a okay, I don't know. If a lot of agents have been selling real estate in the last 2 years, you have an offer, you have a property for sale with no offer date. What message does that send the buying agent?
Room for negotiation.
Like this woman here saying here, those days are gone. Underpricing and Google promote are gone. So, but do you think agents are ready for no offer dates? Because
Sellers aren't.
Sellers aren't.
I think it's coming up.
you think there has to be a date? I'm thinking that if there's not a date on it, there's no urgency, there's no time limit. There's like, you're not pushing anybody to do anything and they're just, well, let's look at this, look at this, look at this.
Right.
We had one last week there, or 2 weeks ago, where the client was putting an offer on a property and we're in the middle of negotiations, and while they're negotiating, the buyer goes to agent, oh, I like this one too. I just want to go look at another property.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of negotiating this one, I want to go look at another one. So like the urgency's not there. I don't
Buyers are getting more often.
Or so anyways, this girl here is saying that multiple offers don't work. So okay, fine. I did a little check and I did down her area, down the C area, C1 and C2, I think 4. I just wanted to see, okay, what's selling. I went back to July 1st, no, August 1st. And on these ones here, we've got 200 detached, these apartments. I've got 200 apartments that sold since August 1st in that area. And of the 200 that sold, 52 sold for over asking, and 69 sold for at asking or above.
The average.
723.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know, but the point I'm trying to make here is this person here is trying to tell us that holding off offers is out of style, not working. Where I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, well, 25% of the property sold for over asking.
More people can buy those properties, so
So-
it makes sense, you're older, or you're higher price
Yeah,
property.
but I think as an agent, you got to be strategic and it's got to be planned and it's got to be figured out. You can't just put it underpriced. Can't be an overpriced property and you overprice it, expect multiple offers. Right? It's got to
Underpricing brings showings also.
bring showings to. And then she also said that the list, like listing low and selling high, doesn't work. So okay, fine. I went to the same list and I thought for the properties that sold for less than full price or over, what was the original price? Or the days on the market? The days on the market that sold for that were underpriced. Days on the market were 9, 2, 3, 7, 8, 7. One was 24, one was 21, 15, 7. The ones that sold under list price. Days in the market, I'm just going, look at this, 39 days, 21 days, 35 days, 34 days, 56 days, 40 days. So this person is telling everybody that underpricing doesn't work, and I'm saying that's not true. That's that's that.
That's bad.
Clarify.
Clarify.
Clarify. So properties are selling when you price it at the value or lower than the value, they are selling for less than the asking price, but it's taken 50 days. And the average we said was what, 20, somebody said, yeah, so. Interesting. Bunch of restaurants. Again, if you're trying to look for a business, it's not a bad idea. It's Young and North York. I want to say at Young Street and Shepherd. North of Shepherd, there's a string, won't be able to show this at home, but there's a string of restaurants. You've probably seen this, everybody's seen this. Right? You've all seen that, it's just a whole bunch of restaurants. You've seen this, this is on Young Street. This could be on Kingston Road, could be on, where's all the other strip plazas? On Lawrence, there's all kinds of strip plazas, and so they're tearing all these suckers down and building condos. One of the agents in the office has done the same thing. He's assembled, I don't know, I hope it's gonna close. No, I'm not gonna talk about it. I don't want to jinx it. But somebody went out there and they knocked on some doors and they found properties like that and they got them to list it and they sold it. It's no easy job. And the last guy that's holding the stick thinks he's got the $1 million property. So he's gonna hang on for his last one. I've been taking my RICO update courses, so I'm a little confused. Nelson, I get these questions here. So here's the question here. Seller reserves the right to review preemptive offers without and accept without notice. Anybody seen that on listings? It is wrong, and they're telling us it's wrong. So I don't know why people ask me that question. This is my point is we've all taken the same course, right? They're not. They're getting fined. They're getting sued. So if you got thank God, hopefully preemptive offers come back, or if you're gonna underprice it on purpose. But if you see stuff like that, or you think it's okay that seller reserves the right to take an offer anytime without notice, it's not true. You have to notify everybody. Canada largest banks reported another big jump in mortgages longer than 25 years. I talked about that this morning with somebody, and Grant can confirm it with me. What's the longest amortization that somebody can get today on a Bank of Canada mortgage? Or either one?
Less than 20% down.
So it's gonna be less than 20% down, which would be a CMHC mortgage. The maximum amortization period is 25 years. And if you're gonna have 20% or more and you're gonna put it through a normal bank, 30%, 30 years. But the government's also told the banks that if people are in trouble renewing or people are in trouble keeping up with the interest rates, then they can extend the amortization period to make it easier for them. But as a new buyer, that was the question this morning, as a new buyer, those are the two rates. You cannot get anything other than that unless you want to go private, and then private is going to jack up the interest rate anyway, so there's no advantage.
60 years.
So they've got here now 40%, 43% of Royal Bank's mortgages are now more than 25 years. Somebody's telling me here they have an investment property with a variable rate and their amortization period is 90 years. I don't think the house will last 90 years. 90. So if that person were to pay the mortgage payments forever, it would take them 90 years to pay off that house.
Why you do that? You did that. I heard that.
Well, they are already, but the government's also told the banks not to do that. So they're going to start throwing that back. So this guy, it doesn't happen here, but this guy in BC, it could happen here. This guy in BC got this old couple to buy a property, and it was conditional upon status. They call them strata thing down in BC. But anyways, so the agent got them to waive the condition before they got the status report. And then on closing, they found out there was a $30,000 special assessment coming down. So they made a complaint to the RICO in BC, and RICO fined the agent $30,000. That money doesn't go to the buyer; it just comes out of the agent's pocket and goes straight to the government. Because the agent got them to waive the condition without the status. Yeah, but they waived it without looking at it.
So that money doesn't go to the buyer.
That's like.
And what is suggesting here, of course, and I'm sure you guys do it too, when you get status certificates, you have the lawyer review it, not you. We're not qualified to review status certificates. I don't know. I'm sure it was a big long court case and they lost. So. Right.
30K though, I didn't see.
And this woman here, you guys read this? This was fun here. This realtor was downtown Toronto. This is just a fun one and social media one. Downtown Toronto there, she was hungry, so she didn't want to eat a whole lot. So she went to some fancy restaurant there and said, I just want something, slow, right, or small. So they said, okay, we have a tuna tartare and something around just like for like lunch, right? So they gave her this light lunch. And she took it, and what they had done, this is apparently done in France or I don't know, in these fancy restaurants. They took a tin of tuna and they unrolled it, threw some chives on it, put a handful of potato chips on it, and charged her $25. So she got over 1 million hits on TikTok complaining about this. So she made herself famous, and people say, I'm not going to show pictures of my food on Facebook or Instagram. And she did it. She got 1 million hits.
Is she gonna be known as the tuna girl?
They didn't even take the tuna out of the can. To the restaurant's defense, she never named the restaurant. She never said the restaurant was bad. She refused to say who it was. And it was just one of those things. She wasn't there to beat up on the restaurant. She just thought it was odd. She didn't name the restaurant. She didn't give the restaurant a bad name. She didn't do anything because she said when I go back there, I'm not going to order that meal again. But over in Europe, they do that. Over in Europe, they got this fancy tuna, but it's raw tuna. This, or sorry, tartar, which is raw. This is canned tuna, which is like,
It's not tartar.
it's not tartar. The other thing about multiple representation, going through my course, you guys did the same course, right? When you hold off offers, do you guys have something in writing from your client says that they've instructed you to hold off offers?
Direction. Direction. Yes, that's got it in my.
There's a form on Treb called seller direction. You get your seller to sign off on that saying, I hereby direct you to hold off offers. Or we do, it's in our listing package, so you got no reason not to do it. But it has to be in writing as well. I should have done this. Is anybody on Zillow? I'm on Zillow. Anybody, you guys do Zillow at all? We should do this another time. I was gonna do it online, but I won't. But they had this little thing on there. It was kind of fun. It showed the interior of houses, and they asked you to describe the interior of a house. Is it contemporary? Is it what other words would you use?
Modern.
Victorian,
Rustic chic.
rustic, original,
Boho.
chic,
Boho.
Danish or Scandinavian,
Minimal.
right? Minimalist. You guys know all these different words and what they mean?
Changeling.
I have an agent out to one of the other offices that's not very good at, they're not self-confident about writing sentences and words in that, so got them on GPT. And they love it. They go that chat GPT and they put in a brief description of the property and the machine just writes it out for them and they just copy and paste it up. Right? And that's when they come up with all these fancy words. That's where it sort of came.
You can tell because
from.
descriptions are much more elaborate now than they've ever been. Step into the second floor and you can tell her.
So Canada's sky-high interest rates have hammered new home construction. Statistics Canada says that new home construction is lower than it's been for many years. Another article says that over 30 GTA condo projects have been delayed, waiting for a better market. So isn't that the weirdest thing? So here the government's trying to build more places and try to get people to space. He's probably going to lose the government's going to lose their position by getting rid of that green belt stuff. I can't see them recovering from that. But at the same time, the builders, because the interest rates are not building. So it's like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, right? The federal government's jacking everything up and the provincial government's trying to increase housing. So it's a hard thing to balance. Scarborough itself, talking about total units that have been canceled. Scarborough had 551, Toronto had 934. You know where the highest number of cancellations were? This is GTA, what do they call it? Greater GGTA, where it's Horseshoe? Hamilton, 2054. So those outlying areas are starting to change. Okay, before I lose people, I don't want to lose people yet. On Wednesday, we have a session. This goes back to September goal planning, September building, getting your business up to speed. So we're on Wednesday, we're having a introduction to our systems for success, I believe it's called. And Katelyn, you want me to talk about it? Or? So at 11:30 to 1 o'clock, it's going to be, we prefer you to be here. It's going to be taped as well, but prefer you to be here. And it's going to be an introduction to a 5-day course starting later on this month. And it's just about systems. What I found, everybody else, is that you go to Mike Ferry, you go to Rich Robbins, you go to Katelyn Fulton, you listen to what Shiv has to say, you listen to what this guy does. And then you got all these things going on there, but are we doing anything with all that information? So there's got to be something to organize everything for, and we call it systems. So what they're going to talk about here is learn the essential systems. Discover the 5 crucial systems that every successful real estate agent should have in place in streaming your business place to streamline their business operations. So what would be an example of one of the systems? If I have a new listing, what do you do when you get a new listing? And do you have it documented? For instance, all the paperwork's done, it's on MLS, okay, that's fine. What's your Facebook ad look like? Like, you do Facebook ads, you do Instagram ads, do you do URLs, web pages? You do an open house? Do you do just listed cards? Who does just listed flyers? Who knows what just listed flyer is? Anybody know? Okay, anybody know what just listed flyer is?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay, okay. So, and I'll give you an example, and I'll give you a name too, because he's retired. So Peter Burrow. He was a classic guy for what I call guerrilla marketing and just listed. This is part of the. If you're going to do it, then it should be in your system. If you're not going to do it, it's not in your system. But if it is in your system, what Peter Burrow would do, he would get a listing and he would by hand, not hire anybody. He's got the first. He's not listening to me. He's got the first penny he ever earned. Okay. So he gets these cards and he has just listed. And he actually stamps them, but you guys don't have to do that. Run through a photocopy, but anyways. And he'll do not many, 50, 75, and he gets a new listing and he knocks it in the neighborhood and hands those just listed flyers. Just listed this, and he's boisterous and he's friendly and he's talking to people and people know him on the street. Then he'll do the just listed. Then he'll do an open house. What he'll do, he'll fight your way to the open house. And then if the house sells, he does just sold. He goes just sold and he does the same thing. And way he goes, all these types of things. So on his systems that he's got, when he gets a new listing, these are all laid out, just listed, just sold, open house, all the things that he's going to be doing with this listing. In a matter of about a year and a half in that neighborhood, who'd never sold a house, never been in that neighborhood, and it was an ethnic neighborhood, if you know Peter Burrow. And he picked up 5 listings. He picked up like $100,000 worth of business in that neighborhood just by doing those things. So if you believe in it, then it should be part of your system, and it's something you do each and every time. Not when you feel like it, not when it's a good property or bad property, or I'm too busy. It's something that's done every single time.
Do you knock on the door?
Yeah, every time he
Or
does.
you just put.
He knocks on doors. He wants to talk to people. Other people have another strategy, but they'll put it in the door, and only talk to people who are walking dogs and outside their lawn or washing the car, or talk to those people. That's another thing. Anyway, so that's that. Efficiency tips: gain valuable insights and tips on how to optimize these systems to maximum efficiency. Real world examples, talk about real world, what's going on out there. Q&A, networking opportunities. So this is going to, on Wednesday, it's going to be introduction to the big picture. Is it part of the ebook?
Books that outline 5 systems.
So
So it's going to be an outline of the presentation. And then the 5-day course, I'm going to go through system that I'm talking about on Wednesday. So each day I'm focusing on one system, and it's not talking at you. You're actually going to write down in a booklet what your systems are. So hopefully at the end of the course, you have systems.
the course itself. Okay. So Wednesday is just gonna be introduction. This is what we do. You like it, don't like it. If you like it, whatever else. If it's something that you like, we're gonna ask you to commit 5 straight days, 2 hours, 11:30 to 1. 10:30 to 1. So it's, I know it's the middle of the week, and it's a face-to-face. For you guys only, it's $4,500. Unless you know the secret word, and then it's 0. Actually, you're not charging, right?
No, but it's not gonna be a recorded session because.
So I'll tell you what Katelyn's up to. So this is going to be for you guys. It's going to be new. It's going to be there. It's not going to cost you anything, but eventually she wants to be able to take this program and sell it to some guy in BC and charge it. So that's and the reason why she doesn't want to record is because she doesn't want that to go into BC before she sells it. That makes sense. Also coming up this week, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Is 5 straight days. We talked about maybe once every week for 5 weeks, but we thought that's just too much. By the time you finish, it's going to be Christmas. It's not enough, and people go there, and that's nice. We want to sort of make a.
Plus, one of the systems is schedule optimization. So I want you guys to have a schedule going to work, going to the day.
So hopefully I'll be able to go to that. And it doesn't mean that you don't have to do your mic fair. It doesn't mean you're not going to do your volume buffet. It doesn't mean you're not going to do all the things you do. All this is going to do is put everything into perspective for you so that you can function the way that you want to function and be organized. Right? That's the whole idea.
So Wednesday, come if you want to learn about what the 5-day program is. It'll still be your summary and you should probably be able to walk away with something. And if you like it, sign up for it. Don't, no problem. I'll have a book. Let's go. But it's good for a lot of our experienced people too. But we're looking to get to that next level, like hiring them in or getting fired, agents, if you're ready to organize your business a little bit better. It's really good for my really experienced people, but it's also good for brand new people to get in the habit of having the less chaotic business. More predictable.
Hopefully hopefully there would be for that. I mean, it's a no-brainer as far as things. It's gonna be a fun thing. And then you can decide later on whether you want to do the 5-day program. September the 12th, tomorrow, to the 14th. Larry Kozak and Mike Ferry are doing their productivity school. So if everyone, this week, it's going to be in Toronto. I'm not sure where. I assume it's going to be at the airport, probably.
Cargo.
Really? No, I think they had a fire. But they didn't Scarborough. Who knows? Nobody knows.
Anyone going?
Is anybody planning going to the? No, I don't think. You think it's a Scarborough? Double check that. I think it'd be the Metro Conventions. Anyway, so while Katelyn's looking at that,
Cargo.
really? Okay, so you got no excuse. It's just around the corner over here. I think they had a small fire in their kitchen.
$350 starts tomorrow.
US? Anybody here gonna go to that? Because I'm just curious why. Is it $350 or is it the time or is it the content? None, all the above? I think no, I'm not gonna go there. No.
Long before you have the workbook.
I've been doing this for so many years. I know the reaction I'm gonna get. People come to me after, so. Rich Robbins on September 20th at the Ajax Convention Center at 9:30 a.m. He's doing another one on October the 4th, but on 9:30 a.m. Ajax Convention Center Wednesday. That's going to conflict with Katelyn, so hopefully nobody's going to go to this. It doesn't? Oh, this is the 20th. Sorry. Okay, so I'll talk about that later on. It's an hour and a half free event. A lot of people like going to the free event. It brings up some speakers. They talk about it, and at the end of the day, he's trying to sell his 3 or 4 day program in November, which is $1,500. A lot cheaper than the $4,000 I wanted to charge.
Mine's free.
That's okay. That's coming up. Starting this week, or maybe started last week, you may have got an email from Korea regarding their single sign-on system. Anybody got that yet? So when you get it, go in there and set up an account. So when you go to realtor.ca and you go to all the other things like web forms or the learning hub or Korea, anything to do with Korea, then they want you to sign in with your email address and a different sign-in. So when you get an email from Korea saying set up you're launching new experience, click here to sign up. It's not junk mail, it's actually Korea. You got one already? Yeah, not everybody's got it. They're doing a little bit at a time. So if you get it, then it's okay. AREA wellness programs. Anybody keeping on track of that? That health plan thing? If you ever want to get involved with social media experiment, go to the real estate hacks or go to which one?
No, they have like their own group.
They got their own little group there. These are people that are anti insurance, and I'm neither here nor there. To me, I'm anti because I don't like the way that it was thrown down everybody's throats. As far as the product itself goes, it's probably okay, but I don't care. But the fact is that we elected our directors to vote on our behalf, and they voted for it. So it doesn't help when the AREA president who's elected is very condescending and very direct with her words.
Excusing people.
She may as well tell you you're all stupid because this is a great plan.
That's all.
And then she's being defensive because now everybody's going after her too, right? But there are some things that are to your advantage. For instance, there's one here, there's travel insurance. If you're 70 years old, and this is where a lot of people 70 years old, 80 years old, your benefits aren't as high as people who aren't those ages. But if you're 70 years old, 80 years old, can you get travel insurance? You can't even get travel insurance. And this doesn't even require a test. Even if you have a heart murmur, or heart something or other, and you wouldn't get insured anyways. These guys, all you do is just, you're already qualified. So there's advantage for people that are traveling, and it's for people.
Covers it or you have to apply it?
No, it's covered. It's already included in your premiums for a maximum of 30 days. If you want to go beyond 30 days, let's say you're going back home or something, then you can add on. You can actually go to them and pay extra money for an add-on to insurance that you already have. So there are some advantages. There's probably more disadvantages, but there are some advantages as well. Now, the big thing I want to talk about here, I guess, is January. Crab is coming up with rental beasts, which we haven't seen yet. Got that Face ID for Realm. Realm's coming up. DigiSign, we still have issues with DigiSign in case you have any situations with DigiSign. We're still trying to get them fixed. DigiSign has issues with where it's not taking a flattened PDF. And how do I describe it? When we do editable PDFs, they're not working properly on DigiSign. So you open up on your phone and you can't see what you're signing because it doesn't show up. Another one on Schedule B's, it reduces the font to like 4 point. You can't even read it. So some glitches with it. So some people stayed with the AuthentiSign. I have AuthentiSign. I stayed with it. Some people stay with AuthentiSign. Some people were DocuSign, but DigiSign still has issues. You can still overcome them, but it's just their issues, right? So we're trying to get those fixed. And so.
Not finalized and something.
Yeah, I can't argue with you. There's 70.
In that world, they want you to use forms. They don't want you to use your own PDFs, even though that's not the reality. They want you to use the full form, but that's not the reality of it.
You're not gonna go over there, fill up forms over yourself, you want to get filled and then attach.
So if you really want to get involved with the insurance, going back to the insurance side, if you really want to get involved with that, you want to protest, they're doing a face-to-face in-person town hall on October the 11th at the Toronto Congress Center. You can go there and say your piece. And this girl will be there too. So got no excuses not to make your voice heard, right? I still think it's too late. I think they signed the contract.
Already been done.
I think it's already. I think it's,
Yeah, already.
They raised a lot of fees, right? $320,000.
but they're getting really grumpy. Like these people, like they're saying, like, you guys, what are you guys doing here? You should be paying for the lawyer. What are you doing? Like you know, like they're being as aggressive as Aria is.
What if you guys are all for it?
Okay, now I'm gonna talk more and more about Teresa or Trust and Real Estate Act. We're gonna talk more and more about that. It doesn't come into effect until December 1st, which is going to come faster than you'd hope. So I sent an email last week to Aria, and they got back to me this morning, telling me that the forms that I want are not available, that they're working on them, and they're going to be changing 100 forms on or before December 1st. So until I get the forms on December 1st, there's really nothing to teach, other than I want you to understand what's going on, and what I have in my head is to make it real simple. There's just forms. For instance, come December 1st, changes that will permit brokerages to enter designated representation agreements with clients. Okay, so multiple representation, they don't want it, but you can still do it. So if you're going to have, let's say your multiple representation is still allowed, but they'll also allow you to designate representation. So I'm thinking if they still allow multiple representation, why even bother with representation? But I'll explain it anyway. So right now we have, you have a listing and the office has a buyer. So we have that buyer under BRA and you have a listing under a listing agreement. Therefore, both these guys, both these people are our clients. Therefore, it's multiple representation. If you're a listing agent and somebody wants to buy the house from you directly, you can treat them as a customer. Therefore, it's not multiple representation because your customer is the seller and you're giving customer service to the buyer. It's not multiple representation. Okay. All right, follow me right now. The government says that the public doesn't know what client representation means. Like, it doesn't mean enough. It doesn't mean it does. What it means is you have no representation. So in the future, come December 1st, there will not be a client representation. You're either a client through a BRA or through a listing agreement, or you're not. You don't exist. Is anybody familiar with court? Anybody familiar with court as self-represented court? Has anybody been to court and somebody's self-represented? Anybody done that? And the self-represented person will ask the judge, well, judge, what do you think? And the judge says, doesn't matter what I think, my friend, you're self-represented. You tell me whatever you want to tell me and I'll make my decision. They're not going to help them at all. So so what Rico's trying to tell us, the person does not want to sign a BRA, they're going to be self-represented. You've got to get them to sign a piece of paper, and that's what I'm waiting for. Say that you're self-represented, meaning we're not going to give you any advice at all. So now the agent says, well, okay, I don't like your property. Can you show me the property across the street? It's not your listing. You can show them your property, they're self-represented. You can show them your property because you're doing a service for your client, not for him. If they want you to show the property across the street, you're not allowed to show it to them without a BRA. Everybody follow that? More paperwork. If you have a listing and this buyer wants to buy through you, and you don't want to do multiple representation, but you want to treat him as a client. Now he's going to be self-represented. So you got to sign this piece of paper saying you're self-represented. And the buyer says, wait a second, I want to be represented, but not by you. Then brokerage can designate another brokerage from the office to represent that self-represented person. But even that person has to get a BRA too. It's not dual representation. It's called designated representation. So it's no longer a multiple representation. SANIC represents the seller, you represent the buyer. And rather than that nudge, wink, wink as a client, I'll treat you fairly. I'll tell you everything I do. None of that stuff. You can actually give full service to that buyer. In other words, trying to get him the best price.
This is from Jen.
December. So I think what's going to happen if you've got your own buyer, you're just going to sign that client up to BRA and you're going to be multiple representation. I think that's what's going to happen there. I don't think anybody's going to do this self-representation stuff. Now SAN's going to have to pay Arbor to do that, right? So that's one of the things that are coming down. Other stuff as well, but I don't want to get involved in that. So once I get the forms, then we'll be okay. The bigger one's going to be the multiple offers. That's going to be fine. And they've set up the software for that. Multiple offers, you'll be able to explain you'll be able to disclose contents of offers to everybody that agrees to it. No, take that back. The seller's going to tell you, I want to share the content of my offers to anybody else that registers an offer. Therefore, you can share the price, you can share the closing date, you can share conditions or not. You can do whatever you want back and forth. So I think what's going to happen with that in the end is that the first go around, the first time you have multiple offers, first time you go around, I think the instructions or trainings likely going to be, we're not going to disclose contents of offers first round. So if you get some guy that wants to pay $50,000 more than offer number 2, then you're going to take it, right? But if everything's being the same, and now you get to that point where you've got 3 offers left over, and 3 of them are so close, and you say to them, well, you're number 1, number 2, number 3, or you're all so close we can't decide, go back and come back. Rather than doing all that stuff, and everybody thinks you're playing games, at that stage, we'll make it available to everybody to see what the final 3 offers. That to me makes perfect sense. You understand what I'm saying? So the first go around, you got 5 offers. You can say, I'm not going to disclose the contents of any offers. But after signing back and forth, now 3 offers are really close. Now it's okay. Now I'll let everybody know. I'll try to squeeze a little something out of those folks. Choice of the seller. Correct. Well, no. Sure, all of it. I don't care. What do we care? No. Yeah. You can. I would share it to all 5. That'd be the 2 main things: multiple representation and what was the other thing that? Have you guys been reading all that stuff, or is it just me? Okay, so that's fine. That's why I'm just curious. I don't want to teach you something you already learned, or just something going on there. Right? So those are the big 3 things: the contents of the offers, the self-represented parties, and designated representations. So and once I've got the paperwork, then it's gonna be a simple thing. Don't be all freaked out. It's gonna be a simple thing. You got multiple representation, sign this piece. All right, you've got you want to show off offers, then show this. So that'll be. Anything else? Anything else? Who's got some buyer, seller, or sorry, product listings you want to talk about? No, everybody's all sold out. I wrote in here, I didn't read here this time here, but back in 1990, we had a big slowdown there, and the prices dropped about 30% over a year and a half, probably 2 years. Yeah. And back then is what I call it 7 years of hell. It went from 1990 to 1997. And it didn't go anywhere. And then I think it took another couple years after that for people that bought during the peak to even out. So if you think things are bad, they're nowhere near as bad as they were in 1990. So we've been through this before. So and we'll get out of it again. What happened back then is the interest rates were also a problem, but not like it was here. But the problem there was the Ontario lost 200,000 jobs in like 1 month. So it was job problem. People didn't have jobs. So this market's completely different, and this market is completely engineered by the feds, in my opinion. So it can be engineered back. So Vran and I were, what did we guess last? Did we guess? We guessed hike. So Vran and I were wrong last time.
No, last time you said you're gonna hike the best.
Vran and I both thought we thought it should go up because inflation went up, but then we said that because it's political, maybe that the Trudeau would be a death wish for him to do it. So they didn't increase it. But now they're saying they will increase it in October.
The US just said that their inflation is up. Our expectations is going up.
Inflation is 3.3. When's the next inflation announcement?
October 26th.
Oh, no, it takes 2 months. Okay, so
I think
so they're gonna wait.
There's one every
So-
there's one every month.
October, they'll
20th of this month.
inflation. They're gonna announce the inflation next month,
26th.
and they'll also have another rate increase next month, or decrease or nothing. We'll guess that later on.
We'll sit tight here and maybe tonight we'll tell us all about what we think is gonna happen in Q1. Good segue.
That's a good
Thank you.
I mean, the builders just knocked off. The builders just did what, 30% or 30 sites that they knocked off. I know the new construction sales are off by 50%. But it'll come around. What goes around comes around. Brand, any words of what's a good rate today?
5.49 on a 5-year.
What? Where?
Insured mortgage.
5.4 on a CMHC mortgage for 5 years. That's not gonna hurt anybody. That's a good deal.
That's not a bad rate.
It's not a bad rate. 5.4 for a 5-year insured mortgage. Okay, so those folks at home, they're gonna say goodbye, and
You're gonna stay.
oh,
Tell them- oh,
Okay, then we're gonna have another show right now. My meeting's over, but Carly's got a pre-construction they want to talk about with Austin. No, this is a different one. Okay, all right. This is Carly.
So online, you can stay here. We're gonna take a 1-minute break though.
Hello, for those still online, we're going to get started. I'm excited to introduce Tanaz, and I know she will introduce herself as well.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Thanks for having me. I'm Tanaz, Director of Sales at Austin Birch. I've been coming here actually in the last several years. Some of your faces are very familiar. This time I'm here, I'm super excited to bring you 3 projects. And I will do presentations for each one of them separately. I'm trying to, make them shorter so you don't get bored throughout the presentation. And then if you had any questions, we can go after that. These presentations will be available to you. So there's no need to like write notes or take pictures. You can do, of course, but you will have these presentations to review them as well.
Yeah, and just so you know, when you're posting on social media, don't post all of these and other projects at the same time. Make sure they get their own sort of attention, because the builders are watching you if you tag them, but they want special treatment. Same thing for your resale listings. You wouldn't post a whole bunch of listings in the same thing, so treat them all like separate listings.
Okay, great. So the first project, and I will go based on like different projects by their launch time. So Boulevard Q by Madame Homes will launch September 19. We have sent the save the date. Hopefully you guys have got it, but if not, just put it in your calendar. It's and it's going to be like rather smaller launch, so we're not going to invite everybody to it, but you guys are platinum brokerage, so of course you will be invited. I'm looking forward to see you there. Boulevard Q by Madame is going to be in Etobicoke. Before getting to that, I just want to tell you that for people that haven't really sold pre-construction a lot before, or if you're doing it, things that will really help you when you're sitting down with your clients is to just bring them facts for each project, that why they should invest in that project, either if they're going to just buy as an investment or just going to live there themselves. So each project will have like several key points to them as facts that why we think that this is a very good project to invest in. Boulevard Q, the first thing will be Madame. Everybody will know Madame Homes. They have been in the business for a long time. They're basically the biggest developer in Canada. Everybody knows them. So once you bring that name to your clients, you know that you already have their attention. The Madame Homes pipeline, if you want to look at them, they have over 14,000 units to bring. So that again is another fact when you're talking to your clients to showcase the developer that they are basically dealing with. The team that is going to work on this project, we are going to do the sales for them. Tact is the architect, Mason Studio and Gladstone, they are doing the interior design and the advertising for the project. Etobicoke, for people that don't know really where Etobicoke is, like on the west side, it's basically between Toronto and Mississauga. And Etobicoke has very different parts, guys. There are some parts of it that you will go and you see houses that are over 4 million and up. There are areas that are still under development. And these areas are, again, another fact when you're talking to your clients that why they should invest there, because there's a fact that they will see the development that is coming to these areas. In Etobicoke alone, if you go do a search, there are going to be a lot of buildings coming into the area, and we already have seen it in the past couple of years that the prices have been increasing, and certain areas that have been kind of under development, they are going to like be developed, and then therefore obviously the prices will go up as well. If you want to just look like where the building is situated is close to everything, close to shops, as you see there. Transit is very close. Green areas are very close. It's a very, very exciting neighborhood. I will encourage you to actually go there and see the area for yourself, because in this market that we are last year and this year, the buyers that are out there are way more educated. They want you to know way more about the projects. They know they want to know more about the location. So kind of like educate yourself with where the location is as well. And again, like as I mentioned, it's super, super accessible with the car, with walk, with bus, with everything that you want to think about. So just getting to the actual building, it has 210 units, from studios to 3 bedrooms. There are some 2-story townhouses there as well. Beautiful amenity space in 3 floors. And on the first floor, there will be some retail store, and there will be a smart home features as well. In that area, there are some investors, of course, that are looking to get into the area, but also it has a lot of locals that are very proud locals in Etobicoke, that they want to stay there, they want to buy for their kids, or they want to downsize as well. So you will be dealing with a lot of people in the area that know the area pretty well too. The amenities in the building, one thing that I've been really liking with these kinds of developers that are very forward thinking is that, especially after COVID, they are very, very specific on what kind of amenities they pick. You know better than me that a lot of buildings are out there. There are a lot of amenities that people don't use, but you still pay for them every month. So a lot of developers after COVID, especially, they are picking the amenities. They're picking the ones that people will actually use them, so the money will not be wasted. The amenities that are in this building are concierge, of course. There is a parcel storage, because a lot of people are doing online shopping these days. Pet spa. There are 2 different co-working area, because a lot of people are working from home. There is an event room. There's fitness, of course, yoga, outdoor terrace, social lounge, and entertainment lounge. So they are really thinking of picking the kind of amenities that, while the residents are still paying for it, they actually get to use it. So these are just some renderings of the building, the gym, how the entertainment area will work. These are just some interiors. You can just go through these when you're sitting down with your clients and show them what kind of finishes they are going to expect. So again, going back to what I was mentioning is, when you're talking to your clients, just bring them bullet points on why they should be investing in that specific project. So the 3 top reasons to talk about Boulevard Q is, of course, first, Mattamy name, security in buying, because like people will know that it's Mattamy Homes, they have it in the business, so their mind is at ease. The second one, as I was mentioning, was the location and the growth of it. When we were selling at Yonge and Eglinton, and the prices were like about $650, and then the prices went really up, we were telling people that this is the fact that everything is happening, changing in Yonge and Eglinton. Invest there. A lot of people are coming to me and are asking that, do you have other projects, something like Yonge and Eglinton, that the prices will go up? And I go back to these kinds of projects that I was mentioning to you, that you will know that there will be a growth there. The third thing is pricing and incentives. When it comes to Mattamy, again, you know better than me that because of their reputation, because of how big they are, they can offer you good incentives, they can offer you good pricing, because they just want to go to their next project, because they have so many projects in their pipeline. I don't have all the incentives to talk to you about, but we are working on very, very good deposit structure. We are working on very good incentives for you to give to your clients. Like, for example, I can tell you that the development charges will be 0. That for sure, I know that, but there are other incentives that are coming. So as I was mentioning, September 19 will be the official project launch. And then the 21st to 24th, the sales office will be ready. Once I have the address, I will send it to you. They're working on it to make it ready for the launch. And then you come to the launch and then you can bring your clients, and then we will start the signing process. Okay, there are still some questions that I know that you have that I cannot answer yet. One of them, I know that you are curious to know about the price. We are still working on them, but I will tell you that the price will be very, very, very attractive to you guys. It will be something like what you see in the area of Etobicoke that is happening. But again, as it is Mattamy, the price will be super, super good. We are working on getting the exact number for the maintenance fee, and then other details that are coming. We will add to the Dropbox that we'll have for this project. And if you had any questions on this specific project, you can always contact me, of course.
That's full of viewed queue. Which one do you want to do next?
A temple.
Sure.
Okay, great. So the commission is 3 for Boulevard Q. Yes,
Typically, Mattamy doesn't cooperate at all. so
exactly.
Three for this one.
So that's exciting. So going back actually to your question that you were asking about new development this fall, we were just talking about it. This fall, I heard that there are going to be around 38 to 40 launches. So that will show you that pre-construction is still like very hot. People are still buying. Of course, it's not going. It hasn't been, like last year was very tough, and I don't think this year also will be like 2-3 years ago that we would launch a project and in a weekend we would sell out. It won't be like that, but there are buyers out there. So that's what I said, that you need to educate yourself, pick the projects that you think might be good for your clients, and also pick the projects that you think are easier, to sell based on the location, based on the developer, based on the incentives that are out there. And I'm actually very happy that all our 3 projects are exciting. All of them have very attractive buildings, items. But again, just on a side note, I would just say maybe just try to pick some projects, because it's just very difficult to physically even like work on a lot of buildings. You will I don't know how you can even memorize like what's happening in the building. That might be very helpful for new development. So 8th Temple, it's by Curated. It's a completely different. It's a completely different project than the last one that I was talking to. The developer is called Curated. They are Canadian based. We have worked with them back in 2016. They were working on houses and then townhouses. And then we did project with them called The Plant on Queen West, which was super, super successful. They are very, very amazing developer. They are very into details and they have vision for every project that they will do. Plants that I was mentioning to you is on this slide. Last year, we launched a project with them on Yonge and Eglinton called Accra, which I'm very happy to announce that we got to construction financing and is going to go to construction in this month. And then next year, hopefully I'll be here presenting to you their next project, which is going to be in Yonge and Steeles. They are super, they're very, very into details. As I mentioned to you, they're super, super unique in what they pick. Chappie Chapo Design, which is an interior design company that only works with, high-end hotel, Four Seasons, St. Regis, Ritz-Carlton. They were very excited when they saw the vision of Curated and they decided to work with them. They usually don't work with projects like this, but they were super excited and they started working with them. That shows how particular and unique they are in their design. The address is 8 Temple, which is Temple and Dufferin Street. It's very close to Liberty Village. So the kind of people that will be like attracted to this kind of a building will be the younger families that are living in that area. If you go to Liberty Village, you see that there are a lot of younger families there. There are a lot of dog parks there, kids, and you will deal with investors. Also, you will deal with people that are looking to buy basically a home. The houses in the area are very, very expensive. So the next best alternative will be a condo. So this building might be something that they will be interested in. The area is very, very vibrant. Again, like I encourage you to go there, to go to Liberty Village and check the actual site as well. It's super, super vibrant. And again, it's although it's very close to Liberty Village and there are parts of it that are completely done, there are still some streets that need work. There are still buildings that are coming there, so you will know that the prices will definitely go up. And location wise, if you look at it, it's super accessible to the highways. It's also very close to the lake and also like very vibrant, as I was mentioning to you. So you can just go through these minutes like later for yourself as well. But again, like it's very close to Exhibition, Lake, Gardiner, Liberty Village, Billy Bishop Airport, everything that people that want to be in Toronto, basically, this will give them that kind of accessibility. Also, this area, there's going to be a 20 billion investment basically from the government to go in this area with everything that is happening. Again, that is the fact that I was mentioning to you when you're looking at pre-construction, that you can talk to your clients, that they can see that there are facts that will show that this neighborhood will go up, and therefore the prices will go up. So going back to what I was telling you about the design, this is the archway of the entrance of the building is this beautiful archway. Like this is just how this developer like really envisions their design. It's 15-story, 246 units. They go from 1 bedroom to 3 bedrooms. They're super beautiful. The rooftop will have the amenities, which I will show it to you. And there are some optional pantry and optional islands in the building. This developer also has very beautiful upgrades. When like the kitchens are getting smaller and smaller, but this developer will offer pantries or islands or more closets in the units as well. Also, it's smart home. All the projects that we are launching these days, they're all smart, meaning that there's no key needed, there's no fob needed. They will all have facial entry when you want to go in. And I think by the time that they are done, all these lock boxes, like the horror stories that we all have about the lock boxes, will go away, because all these buildings will be smart. Also, the residents can speak to the concierge, they can book amenities, so everything will be super easier. So these are just some renderings that I will show you, so you get the feeling of the building. This is going to be the amenities on the 15th floor. Just look how pretty it is, like the view that it will have. The rooftop will have everything. We'll have everything that, again, they were looking at the demographic for this kind of a neighborhood and what people are looking for. So based on that, these amenities are going to be there. So there's going to be an indoor, outdoor kitchen area, indoor fitness area, outdoor fitness area, pickleball court, which is very in at the moment, right? So exactly, very trendy. So again, like going back to this developer, they really have vision. They really go do their market research, and again, based on the neighborhood that they are, they will bring this. So I'll show you one other thing they did. So just look like how pretty and also like forward thinking they are. Indoor and outdoor conditioning area, strength and conditioning area. Also look at this sauna. I remember, I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but in Airbnb there is this cottage that has a sauna like this, and it was always booked, this cottage. So like in this building they have also this. Again, like it shows you how, you know, into details this developer is. This is like kind of a developer that's, you know, when your client buys there, you know that 10 years from now you're still, you know, like you will just get calls to just thank you for like a kind of a building that you got them into. No, they haven't in the business for a long time, but they don't do like buildings every year. They do like every 4 years or 5 years they do one building. This 3 years basically, because we did Accra last year, this year Temple, and next year Steels. But they were working on these three for the past 5 years, so they're not big, you know, like Madame or Ryokan, but they have basically like the background to be very successful. So again, these are kind of the renderings that you will see for the indoor and outdoor. The views are also very pretty. This is a south view on the 10th floor. This is the east view that you will have Toronto there. And this is a typical key plate. You will have this presentation, as I mentioned. You can just go through the key plate to see which kind of units are there if you want to speak to your clients now and kind of get their interest and what they're looking for. These are some typical key plates that you can show them. Also, I'm super excited that I can tell you about the PSF for this project. We are very, very happy with the PSF for this project because there has been nothing like this in the past several years in this neighborhood with this kind of a PSF. Recent and upcoming new condo launches, if you look at them, the price per square foot is between 14 to 1780 downtown east, 1700 to 2000 downtown central, and 1500 to 1600 downtown west. 8 Temple is coming to you at average 1375 price per square foot. So when you're sitting down with your client, you can kind of give them an idea of the prices that are coming. But guys, really believe me, because we do a lot of research on what's coming and what has been selling. This kind of a price in that neighborhood is really, really unheard of. These kinds of prices are now going in Mississauga, Burlington, Brampton. These kind of prices you will see there, even Richmond Hill as well. In like that vibrant area of Toronto, this kind of price is very, very rare. There will be a presentation gallery in Liberty Village, which is very cool because when you take your clients there, it's always, I'm sure it will be busy. Like there are like people there and they will see the like how vibrant and energetic this project will be. The launch of this project will be September 27th, which is an evening launch. So just put that in your calendar. We will send you an invite and I hope to see you all there. September 29th to October 1st, there will be an open house. You can bring your clients and then the sales will happen after that. Okay. Of course, it's 4%.
Always the first question.
Okay, last but not least, super excited to bring you Q Tower by Lifetime and Diamond Corp. I'm sure probably you have seen the photos already of where the building is. Like, there were a lot of like talks about this location and what's going to happen with this parking lot. I'll show you exactly where it is, but we're very excited to bring you this project. Just this one. Okay, perfect. So it is the most exciting new project coming to downtown Toronto, guys. Like that red that you will see there, it will basically change the skyline of our Toronto view. And for that reason alone, this is going to be like a super exciting project to work on. Lifetime and Diamond Corp, like they don't really need, like explaining about. They have been in the business for a long time. Lifetime, you probably know them by Bisha, Yorkville, Four Season. Diamond Corp, you know them by Celeste, Brightwater, The Well. They have done, like their portfolio is fantastic. We are very, very excited to be working with them on this project. This picture is basically from 50 years ago, which is very nice. And now you will see that the skyline will change with this project. So it is going to be on 220 Queensky. There is, like where you see the Q Tower, there is a parking lot, which is 7-story. You probably have parked there to go watch a game or to go to Harborfront or to go to the lake. So that parking lot will go, and then there will be a 60-story building called Q Tower. Before getting to the rest of the preview, that parking lot, like on the 7th floor of that parking lot, we actually have done a key plate of the building. So if you go up there, you can see different suites with the square footage. Also, when you're there, you can see all the views. I'm very like excited and happy that after a long time, I can actually talk about the views of a building, because, you know, usually when there is a building, like, you can never really talk about views because that view might go. These views are not going anywhere. Also, from the 7th floor, you will have fantastic views. The residential floors will start from the 7th, which is on top of the roof that I mentioned to you. And then obviously you go up, you will have, you know, like spectacular view. But even from the 7th floor, everywhere that you look, from the south to north, I have some views to show you. All views are fantastic. I just wanted to mention to you that this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, between 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., the rooftop is open. So if you want to go there yourself and see the views yourself, get the feel of the building, and also if you want to take your clients with you, it's open. The rooftop is open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. And I will really encourage you to go there and see it for yourself rather than just in renderings. So between the 2nd floor, like 1st floor will be retail, 2nd floor to 6th floor, there will be rental units. You know, every building that comes into the city, they have to give some rental units back. However, you should know that these rentals are not subsidized. Like these rentals will be at the market value. So by the time this building is up, I don't even know what the rent will be, but no, it's just like, it's just, yeah, rentals. And every building, it just has to have that. It's residential. The main floor will have some retail store, but everything else will be residential. So again, like this is like where the heart of the city is, right? Like you're gonna watch the game, it's there. CN Tower is there. Like that area really doesn't need any selling. You know it, I know it, especially for new immigrants that are coming to Toronto, and there are a lot of them coming, which I'm super excited because I think that will show that our industry is, you know, like can survive and we can sell a lot. So a lot of people want to stay in that area. A lot of people that are living in different areas as well always want to go back to this area because it's all the what's happening in Toronto, it's happening there. So 100 transit score, 99 walk score, 87 bike score is close to everything that you can imagine. I really don't need to sell you the location. It is the Toronto proper area. And the team that are working on the project, Wallman Architect will do the architectural, U31 will be doing the interior design. Also, Lifetime is very big on arts, and they are bringing Michael Mobius, which is a very, very well-known artist, to do these kinds of artwork to go with the, you know, publicity of this project. I'm sure that you have seen Queen Elizabeth's photo everywhere. That just like part of the artwork that goes with the building itself. So 60 stories, 902 units. over 27,000 square feet of amenities, 24-hour concierge, porte cochere covered arrival, and it will have like beautiful artwork everywhere you go in the building. Also, another selling point, I think, which I think you should talk to your clients about that as well, is the occupancy. Occupancy is scheduled to be 2030. So for anyone, you know, that is very uneasy that what will happen to the market? Like, what about the next 2 years? What about the next 3 years? Like the occupancy is short. This will be 2030. So by the time 2030 will come, then you know for sure that the prices will go up. Like that's a guarantee for like everybody. Like this is your selling point. Aside from the developers, aside from, you know, where that iconic location, like that location, guys, like you don't have anything else. If you go to that area, you don't have any other land that a developer can buy and make a building. So that's it basically for that location. Also, those kind of views, you will never see them again in the heart of the city, and the occupancy 2030 will make it a no-brainer. It's so easy when you're talking to our clients. And we are really working on having a very attractive deposit structure throughout, so then people can pay for it and then just sit and not to worry and wait till 2030, and then either rent their units, I'm sure, with like very crazy prices, or like just get the return on their investment, or move into the building. So again, as I was mentioning, from the 7th floor to the 60th floor, and as I was mentioning, the skyline of Toronto will change with this building coming up there. Typical key plates that you will see, again, like if you go like on the 7th floor, we do have the same key plate on the rooftop. It's pretty cool, guys, when you go there. There are 7 elevators there. Another thing that I'm super excited about is that there will be no inbound bedrooms. So all the bedrooms will have windows. From the smallest unit to the biggest unit, all the bedrooms will have windows, which is super nice. Yeah, exactly. So the views, this is from the 40th floor, but again, that's why I keep encouraging you to go to the 7th floor, because even from the 7th floor you have the exact same view. It's just spectacular. So the south view, I'll show you, that's the lake, of course. This is my favorite view, the northwest, because you will have the skyline of the city, and then your west side as well. Also from your balcony, you can still see the water. And this is, of course, a beautiful south view with the water, but all the views are fantastic. The east view also is very New York vibe when you go there. So basically every view that you pick, you will just love it. October 12th, please put that in your calendar. It will be an evening launch. It's going to be super exciting. I really encourage you to come in. We are going to have 2 different client open house. Still don't have the addresses, but October 14 and 15, somewhere north of Toronto, will have an open house. I will send you the address once I know it. And then the central venue will be October 16 and 18, and then the signing will start. If you have any question, let me know. I still don't have the price per square foot to tell you, but it will be something very competitive, you know, with the range of the neighborhood. We are working with the developer to bring it down as much as possible, because you know, we want to have a good year. We want you to have a good year. We want the developer to have a good year. So everybody's working on that. For the smaller other incentives that there will be there, I will give them to you, and then the maintenance fee and things like that, everything will be like very super standard, but other incentives to come. But I think for now you have enough to talk to your clients, you know, talk about the developer, the location, and of course occupancy, which is super exciting for everybody. And I hope to work with you all. You can have my contact information. If you have any question, you can email me, call me, text me, WhatsApp me. And I'm looking forward to see you in our 3 projects this September and October.
And I will help you summarize and kind of consolidate all the dates and information. So you'll see that on WhatsApp or Brokerage.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Is that all?